Hi guys, hope you're keeping well. I'll be posting videos to the Padlet page on an occasional basis to assist you and to clear up any misunderstandings you may have in maths and Irish in particular, because I believe some of you are experiencing some minor difficulties in those subjects and coming across things that we simply haven't encountered before in class. Let's get down to the focus for today's and tomorrow's maths, which is page 144 and 145 in Planet Maths. You will encounter questions that look like this, in which you have two or more mathematical symbols. So as you can see here, we have 2 plus 10 multiplied by 5. You might look at that and think, well, how can you solve that? Do you multiply first or do you add first? There's a very simple formula that you can follow. It's an acronym. It's BODMAS. Brackets, order, division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. That means if you see something that's in brackets, you solve that first. If you see a question that has division and addition, you solve the division part first, then the addition. If you see a question that has multiplication and subtraction, you complete the multiplication part of the question first, then you subtract, as per the question here. You have 10 minus 4 multiplied by 2. You multiply 4 by 2 first, which is 8, and then you subtract that from 10 to get your answer, which is 2. Now let's have a look at the questions that I've posted here. We have 2 plus 10 by 5. We solve the multiplication part first, because M comes before A. Multiplication comes before addition. 10 by 5 is 50. And then we can add 2 to that to get our answer, which is 52. The second question, 12 plus 10 divided by 5. 10 divided by 5 is 2. We solve that first because division comes before addition. So 2, then we can add our 12, and we have 14. Those two were relatively easy. I color-coded them. So we have the multiplication division in red. That was to indicate that you have to solve those parts first. Final one here, a little bit more tricky. I haven't color-coded it. 25 by 12 divided by 2. What comes first, division or multiplication? Well, let's have a look up here. Division comes before multiplication. So you solve again the division first. 12 divided by 2 is 6, and then we can multiply by 25. 6 by 25 is 150. Second time question you're going to see on 104, fairly straightforward. And those questions are there to just demonstrate that if you see the same mathematical symbol in an equation, there can only be one answer to the problem. 6 plus 7 plus 3 is 16. If you reorder the numbers or reorder the symbols, there's still going to be addition symbols, of course, you're going to get the same answer. So 7 plus 6 plus 3 equals 16. The same is true for multiplication. 5 by 2 by 3. 5 by 2 is 10, by 3 is 30. Let's reorder the numbers. 3 by 5 by 2 is also 30. That won't hold true for division, by the way. Now questions with brackets. Let's go back to what I've posted here and the order of operations. If you see numbers inside brackets, you have to solve what's in the brackets first. So these questions here, 12 by 3 plus 4. 12 by 3 is inside the brackets, so we have to solve that first, and then we complete the sum. So 12 by 3 is 36, plus 4 is 40. 90 divided by 10 multiplied by 4. 90 divided by 10 is inside the brackets. We have to solve that first. 90 divided by 10 is 9. We can then multiply that by 4 to get the answer, which is 36. That is everything, not everything, but most of the things that you'll cover in Planet Maths on pages 144 and 145 Wednesday and Thursday. Now let's have a look at some of the more tricky questions that you might encounter in Master Maths. And the questions that I have earmarked as quite challenging are number 6, number 16, and number 18. And the questions that I have here are similar to the questions that you'll be doing today. They're not exactly the same. but hopefully you will have a better understanding of how to solve the questions by looking at the examples I've posted here. The first question I have, increase 20 by 40%. Well, how can we solve this? We have to convert 40% into a fraction. When we do that, we get 4/10. So we have to increase 20 by 4/10. In order to increase it by 4/10, we have to find out what 4/10 of 20 is. How do we do that? It's our old friend, divide by the bottom, multiply by the top. 20 divided by 10 is 2. 2 multiplied by 4 is 8. So we now know that 40% of 20, or 4/10 of 20, is 8. We need to increase 20 by 8. We simply add it to get the answer. So 20 by 8 is 28. On to number 16. If 6 apples cost 1.20, how much do 10 apples cost? Well, we need to find the value of 1 apple first. In order to do that, we divide 1.20 by 6. That gives us 20 cents. That's the value of 1 apple. We need to find the value of 10 apples. In order to do that, we simply multiply 20 cents by 10. When we do that, we get our answer, which is €2, as you can see here. Number 18 in Planet Maths today is very tricky. And it's a question that, broadly speaking, is similar to what I have here. I'm going to read this question now. 0.35 of the people at the cinema were women. There were 49 women in the cinema. How many men were in the cinema? Well, we know that 0.35 were women and there were 49 women. We have to then convert 0.35 to a fraction, which is 3,500, or when we simplify it, 7/20. So 7/20 of the people in the cinema were women, and again, there were 49 women. How many men were there? Well, if there were 7/20 of the people in the cinema were women, then 13/20 were men. In order to find the value of 13/20, what we need to do is first find 1/20. How can we do that? Well, we can divide what we see here by 7. So let's do that. If we divide 7/20 by 7, we're going to get 1/20, of course. And if we divide 49 by 7, we're going to get 7. Therefore, 1/20 equals 7. So we have the value of 1/20. We need to find the value of 13/20, because 13/20 of those in the cinema were men. In order to find the value of 13/20, we have to multiply 13 by 7. And then we get our answer. So there were 91 men all told in the cinema. That's all for the time being. If you have any queries, any questions, if you don't understand anything, as ever, just please post a question to the Padlet page. And I'm going to post this page to Padlet as well. Thanks very much.